So, good evening guys, welcome to OTL Season 3, Round 8, Britain. We head to what is probably known as the home of Formula 1. I will be joined a little later, of course it's myself Chris, and I will be joined a little later, as I was just saying, by young Jensen. He is currently knee deep in a PSGL race as it stands. So, a quick rundown of some standings I think is in order before we get underway to what is just over the third of the way through the season. So we have Mike leading the championship. He's got a 54 point gap, so he's on 168 to Jay on 114. Then Mr. Rage close behind in third on 105. Dixie in P4 and 90 points. Remember, he never scored the first race of the season, so he's maybe shown a bit of form recently. F. Lewis, who we know has been strong, he's picked up a couple of wins this season as well. He's in P5 and 87. Then we've got Matterman being consistent in that top 6, P6 and 85, same as Connor and Jamie, 79 and 78. Jamie, of course, missed the last couple of races, so he'll be looking to make a challenge back. We've got Rob in P9 and 78, Skarma 10th on 77, Merkel P11 on 70. That one podium, and then maybe just not quite everything that he would have expected. I think Mikey being as consistent always, 2 retirements this season, so he's probably a little down the order as well, in P12 on 70 also. Then we've got Mitch in 13th. He's having a very, very strong season so far on 54 points. He's got a nice 20 point cushion as well to Ranger in 14. Then we have Pedro in P15 on 33 points, Kristaps 16th on 32. Nelly joined the season late, of course. He's only done 2 races so far. He's in 17th on 17 points. We have Ryan VD in 13 and 18th position and 13 points. Fingers 19th, also joined the season on the 5th race. He's on 12 points. DXD Senna on 8 points, and we have Donny on -4. He's yet to score, and I don't think he's here again. So that is the championship. As for constructors, Alfa Romeo lead the way in 274. They have a big gap of 105 points to Red Bull in second on 169. Red Bull and McLaren are absolute loggerheads for that second place. Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari. There is 8 points splitting second, third and fourth in the Constructors' Championship at the moment, so they guys will be looking to try and put a gap on the others. Williams in 5th on 136, close behind Alpine on 6th on 131. Then we have Alpha Tauri on P7 on 116, Aston Martin P8 on 108. Haas P9 on 102, and Mercedes in 10th on 75. But to the action ahead. So of course we come to Britain. Let's see what people are running, and we have some guys out on track. Of course our championship leader Mike. Let's see who's all watching. Evening. Thanks for calling me lucky last week, Ethan. Did I call you lucky? Where were you lucky? Hey, sometimes we need a bit of luck in racing, nothing wrong with that. Evening Mikey and Senna, 16 between me and Mike. I don't know what Jamie's talking about, but we will just agree. Mike invalidates his outlap, so Mike looks set for a committed soft start. He is our lead driver, so we will stay with him. Not a lot of people tuning in at the moment, but I am sure the stream will pick up as we go on into qualifying. So Mike, through the last couple of corners, we'll go on board with him for a lap. But it'll be nice and flat, open the lap up. I like to use for turn 1, use a little bit to come on the left hand side, as Mike does himself. Just open it up, keep it nice and neat, then right tight in against the curb on the inside line. Smash the brake pedal at 70 metres, tuck the car in nice. Mike chooses third. I like fourth gear a bit better, and he takes second for turn 3, nice and hard on the power, good application of power in third gear to get himself down the Wellington straight. Coming into probably a couple of the trickiest corners. The rear of the car is always a fight here, so you take an early apex and then let the car drift wide, squeeze on the power in fourth. You could probably use a little more in exit there as well, and keep the car nice and tight, cut the white line. Now can he take cops flat? I'm sure he can, but it's a very tricky corner. You've got to chuck it in, take a lot of the curb on the inside, and that he does. He gets through flat, choosing to stay in 7th. I think that does give more stability. In fact, he's not going near 8th gear at all, so let's see how he's good through Magnussen Beckett's. Stays in 7th, double downshift to 5th gear, picks up the throttle nice, uses a little bit of grass on the exit. That's absolutely fine. He chooses to use the racing line. I like the tight line, so sticking left. Then up at the end of higher straight, stab of the brakes, flick the car in, Get the car back down the hill. Good evening, Skarma. Smash the pedal 80 metres. Chuck into the first curb. Use as much of the apex on the right hand side as you dare. Get the steering as straight as possible and smash the throttle. Get yourself to the line for a 127.1 for Mike. We have Jamie not far behind as well. He does a 27.6 on the medium, so that's probably looking about even for these two guys. We have Mick. I don't even know what to say there. We're just going to call him Mick. He slots in 28.7. I think he is reserving the evening, so a new name. We've got Mataman doing his bit to get well out of the way there. So who else do we have coming round on laps? Oh, we've got a little queue of cars here actually. I think Mikey might be the lead of this battle. In fact, it's not. It's the Alpha Tauri, so I think it could be Nadeem. Yes, it is. He comes up. I think this is actually Wellington Straight. I got my corners wrong. Good evening, SPW. You fine man. How are we, sir? You could have been here, but there's 20 drivers, so maybe not tonight. Nadeem picking up a small inside lockup. He does choose to take a lot more of the inside curb there. The second to last corner, he goes 27.3, so it's starting to look very tight. Nelly in his medium 27.6 as well, so there's a lot to play for. 27.9 for Gentex, so starting to look very, very compressed in that midfield, especially in that medium compound tyre. Ranger slotted in on a 28.1 as well. Excuse any coughing or sniffling, guys. I have that crappy virus, but I'm okay. I'm absolutely fine. I just have a bit of a cough. Nothing a Red Bull can sort out. So who else do we have on a lap? Somebody just slotted in, I think. I'm not sure who it was. Rage is 2.7 seconds up on a second run in this tyre, I think. But Rage is going to improve. He's got a lot of understeer in that car, so maybe looking to dial the front in a bit. He does a 27.4, slots himself into P4. Jamie Enright done a 27.2 in his second medium lap, so that's a very, very interesting lap for sure. I'm making you blush, only you. If I'm blushing, it must be true. If you're blushing, sorry. Where is our fingers? He's on an invalidated lap. Matoman's on an invalidated lap as well. Rage needs to get his... I totally agree, SPW. If we want to put it the blunt fashion, he does very much need to get his finger out. We know he's a quicker driver than he is shown in OTL of recent. So I definitely think that, I would say politely and try and let him on, but let's just do it the SPW way. Rage, get your fucking finger out. I'm sorry, mate. He made me do it. I'm still intrigued to where Ethan said that I called him lucky. I want to know. So Mataman not on one, Rob on an outlap. Of course, a good scorer recently, Rob. He showed some really early potential in the season and had a couple of tough races. Baku looked dead set for that podium, and then it all got away from him. So I think most guys now are on an in-lap. Maybe have actually a Williams. Who is the Williams? Oh, it's Mr. Rage going again. He went a 27.0 in his soft compound tyre, so that's interesting. Mr. Esports, Jensen. He finally got his seat in PSGL, so he will be permanently a little late now. Let's just hope he adds no bad races and comes in a absolute depressed mess. Bear with me 1 second, guys. So, SPW, since you're in the chat, Senna says, spun on my second lap was 5 tenths up. Where did Senna go? Oh, he's going to do a low 28. That'd have been a solid one on the mediums, not too far off the pace at all. So, some podium predictions. It's a bit early. Let's see how quali finishes. We may get a bit of a long run here as well, I think. Oh, Mikey worry there, just drifting wide. They just hang the throttle in a bit and just didn't want to get too much understeer there and push him out and pick up that invalidation. But can he improve? He pretty much copies his lap time identically. Welcome, welcome everybody that's joining us. Matoman half a tenth up. Pedro, another driver who's been very strong of late. A bad strategy call probably cost him a podium last week. He's still in the pits. So, interesting to see exactly Pedro's thoughts. Matoman still retaining that half a tenth. Half a tenth's not enough. If he can pull himself up inside that top 10 in that medium compound tyre, in fact you probably don't want to now. He probably doesn't want to, he probably wants to back out this lap. Because if he finds time through these last couple of corners, he's going to have to start the race on what could be a 4 or 5 lap old medium, which is probably not smart. I think he's going to see the lap out. He does, he goes to P10 on a 27.9, so he'll be looking for some guys to improve and maybe knock him down a bit. 16 points, Jamie says. Don't think there is, mate. A lot more than 16. It's like 100. Pedro's still in the pits. I know. Bloody Matthew. F. Lewis, a little dark horse of the league. Going to call him Mr. Lucky from now on. I'm sure this is who was in the chat saying it. So he's now Mr. Lucky. Lighting up the sectors. So he's on something positive. He has his teammate and Mike not far behind. Mike also... No, he's not in a lap. Jamie does a 26.8 on his medium compound tyre, so only a couple of tenths gain there, soft to medium, so I don't think Jamie's had his strongest lap on his soft style, probably more time to come, or he just had a very, very good one on mediums. Are you okay, mate? I'm absolutely fine, are you okay? SPW. So where does F. Lewis go? He goes up into the top 5 on a 27.3. Look at the drivers in the 27s. P2 to P12. They'll split by 9/10 of a second. It is very, very close. Oh, cough, cough. If I'm mute, I won't disappear into silence. That is why. Gentek's up in sector 1. So he is finding some time. Small wobble at oversteer there on exit, but keeps the car in check. Is he going to take Cops absolutely flat out? Full commitment. Oh, he takes the downshift. Gets a good rotation of the car walk. Gets through it nicely. And again, another driver that likes to drift wide. Stay to the left hand side, you go a bit quicker. A lot of guys really struggling at the apex, and that'll be an invalidation there for JNTEX. Not the place you want to pick it up. A lot of understeer going on at the top of Hangar Straight, so that is very interesting. A Wellington Straight. Where is Nelly? Nelly's invalidated. He is well down. What's Chris Stratton doing? He is a little up. Is this Senna on a lap ahead? Yes, it is. Oh, good view and battering through cops there. Keeps it valid. Jamie done the thing that we don't like to do. So, time out that guy. You're taking it away from the spectacle. I don't know. Well, I know now, but... Senna very committed through the third to last corner. How good is he through the chicane? Nice and tidy. His front end looks a lot more hooked up than the others, so that might bode him well in the race. He goes up to P11 on a 27.7. Mitch half a second down. Has he got any more time through the middle sector? Oh, he's missed his apex a bit there. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Is he up any at the split? Yeah, he's way down. So go to, where is Ranger? Ranger's not far, no, he's just gone through 1 and 2. What has Mikey got in the tank? He was up purple sector 1, so we'll stay with Mikey. I think at Britain, Mikey definitely got to be eyeing qualification in that top 5. Good commitment through cops. Up to Magus and Beckett's. Now he's going to have some traffic here. Hopefully the guys stay well out his way. Oh no, and Fingers has done his best there, I guess. I wonder who that was behind Fingers. It was a Ferrari. JNTEX, so they two guys not being so smart. If you're on an outlap, you should really be not going slowly in the fast parts of the circuit. Mikey a 10th up. Can he find a 10th more in these last couple of corners? Maybe get himself up inside the top 6. What have you got, Mikey? Good exit out of the last, and he does. He goes P6 on a 127.4. Good evening, young Jensen. You join with 1 minute left in qualification. Jamie went on to pole on a 26.7. Mike now in third on his outlap. I think we're just getting set up for the last runs of the session.
Oh, he spun on his outlap. Jamie's. Oh, that's going to hurt him massively.
Oh, so he might not get another go then. Well, he will get another go, but what has that done to the tyres?
Yes, across the sector line in time. Oh, it's 30 seconds. Oh, he's going to be on the limit of time, I think, Chris.
So we may not get home.
Unless it ends a little bit later if there's like a time glitch, but no, he's in the pits. Jamie's out qualifying.
So can Mike be up? He only needs a couple of tenths. And he's a 10th up sector 1.
He's got one of his already.
Rage a little ahead as well. Let's watch Rage. He's just actually a bit ahead of Mike, so this is interesting. Or 2. On JNTEX somehow managed to slot himself into P3 there on a 27 flat, and his soft compound tyre didn't even see that coming. So, if Mike or Rage invalidates, JNTech's got him a right good position on the board. F. Lewis slots into P2 in a 26.8, only 3/100ths of a second now,
Rage. He's
splitting the
lost a bit of time
pole.
in the middle sector. And see what Mike does through the middle sector. Mike, he's 3 tenths up, Chris.
So Mike's looking very strong here.
Can he beat Jamie's pole time? Can Rage beat Jamie's pole time? As he goes through the final sector. Nelly goes pole position. And there goes the Rage, and he's set identical lap time to Jamie.
But where is Mike? Here is Mike coming to the line now, Jensen. Can he take it? He goes P2 and a 26.8. And look how close it is between the top 5. 7/100ths of a second, splitting 5 drivers. It's absolute insanity.
And there comes Chris Dapps being the final driver across the line.
Where is it?
Nelly's got it bagged. And he goes to P14. But Nelly on pole.
What a quali session there. Look how close it is, Jensen.
Wow. Only
The top 5.
top 5.
Wow, 7/100ths.
An interesting race ahead. JN6 and Mikey not far back as well, only 3 tenths.
Let me just rebalance my audio, it's a bit loud now. It's either it's loud or you're quiet, but I think it was the game was loud because I was still in full audio. And Dixie's doing his bits to get out of everybody's way, but I don't think he realises that everybody's finished. Pedro's AI's just went into low fuel mode.
I think that's that.
So Nelly, maybe an unexpected pole position. Nelly from Mike, from Jamie, from Rage, F. Lewis P5, Gentech 6, Mikey 7, Rob Wells 8, Nadeem 9 and Ranger rounds out the top 10. Merco 11, Mick 12, Sinner 13, Christos 14, Mataman 15, Pedro 16, Dixie 17, Skarma 18, Fingers 19 and Mitch in the P20. Excuse me, cutting away to cough. So there, as I said, 7/100ths of a second, split our top 5 drivers. I'll take a little screenshot of that. That's worthy of a screenshot. That's probably going to be the closest qualifying of the season.
Crazy. Only half a tenth separating the top 4.
Half a second between the top 10 as well. So I think if you're in within half a second, you can stay in the DRS train. You're
Nadeem is in this race.
Yes.
I think he's going to win the race, so there you go.
Oh.
My prediction for race win.
Nadeem, I think we've got some tricky weather coming up. So I am going to pick...
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a dark horse. I'm going to pick Mikey for the win.
Mikey to get his first race win.
Of course, Mike will want to win, but he doesn't need to bother it. With a 100-point lead, he just needs to score points, keep scoring points, and that's his main issue. Oh, excuse me.
But you always want to win, though.
Oh, of course.
Surely.
Again, excuse the coughing.
What, have you caught COVID, Chris?
I do have
or just
COVID.
a common cold?
I have COVID.
Hmm?
I do have COVID.
What, right now?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I'm okay. I just got a bad cough, a bit of a runny nose. No temperature or that. I'm absolutely fine. Otherwise, it just feels like a really crap cold.
Yeah, it seems my family's also got the common cold.
It's everywhere.
It's
just now as well.
But anyways.
So an old rivalry rekindled.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dust being kicked up from some cars. So I don't know. It's really weird. Unless you feel the back of the engines producing something, but it's a very varied bottom 10 on the tyres. We've got 4 guys on the softs, 5 on the mediums, and Mataman on the hards. I think Mataman might be... It's a hard tyre at Silverstone. Might be rain near the end, I don't know.
That is what was predicted in chat. Some rain to come. I don't know whether Mataman's just going to try and send it on the tyre and not stop until the rain comes.
Maybe.
But what you do not want to be on is a warm hard and a high lateral load corner and a slick track. I would much prefer to be on a medium or a soft come that time.
Getting fully alongside Nelly. Yeah, it's not changed one bit. And Nelly really looking to take a victory.
Mr. Rage, of course, as well. I think for the first time this season, our grid is actually set up probably in our big guns order. Nelly, Mike, Jamie, Rage, F. Lewis, Gentex, Mikey. All of the guys that are kind of there or thereabouts. We know Mike holds that little bit advantage, and we know Nelly and Jamie can be very strong.
There,
it's just you've got to get through these first section of corners, turns 1 through 5, clean. You've got to keep your wing out of trouble. Who's lights out, is it, Jensen? I think
yours.
Nice.
Time for the British Grand Prix.
Hey! So we will watch Mitch as he lines into his slot. And he will take his position now, and then we should get some lights. We'll go on board with Nelly as the lights hopefully come on any moment now, and the pit stop strategy at the bottom of the screen. We have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and Greenfingers gets a jump start, and this lights out, and away we goes, and Mitch gets a jump start as well. It seems to be a good start from Nelly. Mike comes straight over to defend Jamie, and I think he has a small bit of contact there, and that's put Mike way back. Nelly gets a clean start. He's going to go into turn 3 first, and he's nose well out of bother.
Mirko and Pedro looked like he was taking a line out the pit or something, but yeah,
other than Mike
there.
Yeah, I think he tried
really
to come over and defend Jamie, made a bit of contact, and that just provoked a bit more wheel spin. Jamie well on the back of Nelly on the start. Rage has managed to jump Mike, so Mike probably just needs to settle down now. He probably will believe he's got the pace in the car. I know he races well here, better racing than qualifying. So
back there, there's been a bit of contact. Senna and Mick making contact, and hopefully it's no damage for Dixie Senna there. And there goes Adam and his teammate Mataman, 4th position. So the hards really struggling, it looks like. Far down at the back because of drive-throughs.
Yes. Oh, firing through Magus and Beckett for the first time. Look at Mike all over the back of Rage. He's coming for a move. Mike makes the defensive move. Rage is going to defend the inside line, but Mike is coming here. Rage takes the wider line, defends it well, but Mike gets the call back.
Look the inside. Into the chicane, he's going to back out again. Mr. Rage leaves the space though. Maybe the cut back onto the next straight. Can he get before Abbey?
Oh, Rage has stopped the car. Mike's had to avoid it, and that's very good reactions there. And I think Rage managed to keep it out the wall.
Yes, he did. He's very lucky he didn't hit the wall there.
So that now releases Mike to get back on the back of this pack. Mike will not want to drop the DRS from Jamie and Nelly. He knows he's just got to be in that fight as the pack stays very close further back.
Jamie Rage Nelly there. I think Mr. Rage had the same moment that Connor had last week. He dropped the car, but I think he just kept out of the wall. That tricky curb.
Yeah.
Or just the line, I don't know. But Jamie, I think he's looking for an early move. He's still 90% energy, so they're both keeping the pace, but I think Jamie's hungry. This one, Mike's on 55% energy after his attack on Mr. Rage. Oh, and Jamie's gone wide, so did Mike. That might have been a warning for Mike and Jamie there. That's
Mikey now gets through, and Nadeem Mikey up to P6. So let's see our best position gainers. Get Mikey up 1. Scum up 8 positions. He went P18 to P10 in that open lap. Kristaps V as well managed to gain 5. Nadeem up a couple. Dixie up 3. Fingers up 3. Pedro, Ranger, Mr. Rage of course with that spin, and Mike, all our losers out in the first lap. Nelly, Mike now takes the fastest lap straight off him. So I think this is going to be the trend.
8 positions on the medium tyres as well, so I mean if he sticks in the train you're pretty much good for the end of the race. And if there's rain coming I think the softs would be better, and this goes Ranger at the inside of Senna. Again, wheel to wheel through.
Here's Nadim coming for something, and Mikey as well. Mikey's going to defend that inside line. Nadim will take the racing line. So how much can he send it round the outside here? It'd be big and bold, but maybe look for the cutback here. Yes, he is. He's going to look for the outside line now. It's not quite there this time around. Mikey car position and absolutely
maybe
impeccable there.
Though. He's not going to attack there like he's using a bit of energy. But here they come through Cox. The first time with DRS, and Mike goes a little bit wide there. He's got to be careful with this track limits already because he's already picked up a warning. And here comes Jamie. Jamie's going for the move, Chris. On the first lap of DRS, he's going to get the move done at Stowe. And Nelly wasn't going to put too much of a fight up there, and Jamie takes the lead of the race. And the back of Nelly's car is not like sitting like that.
Sorry, excuse me. Let's get this.
Mike does not want to see the back of Nelly's car right now.
No.
I think it's the worst sight for him to see, really, when he races. But he's going to have to try and tackle that. And
Dixie was looking there at Ranger, but not quite this time around. We have this, Kristaps and Rob Wills all over the track. Kristaps doing his bits to try and break the top. He knows he's under pressure now, but Rob Wills, I'll understand, he needs to get through. 2.3 seconds now to the next train ahead. You cannot, the more and more you drop off, the harder and harder your race becomes. JN Tex picks up his first time penalty of the race, and if you're picking up a time penalty in lap 4, it is going to be a long old evening.
Here we go, Chris. Mike on Nelly. Down the hanger straight. Can he get the run? Nelly using everything, Mike using everything. I don't think Mike's going to be able to get him. Mike backs off the energy.
Neff Lewis is right in this fight as well. Look, he's just slowly creeping back up onto the back. It's turning out to be a very, very good start to this Grand Prix. Let's look further back in the field. Rob Wells, Skarma still tussling away. Wells further back. We've got Senna went through, Ranger boxes off his softs in lap 3, so I wonder if he's picked up some damage.
Some damage where he's going for a very big undercut. And he's going hard tyres, so
that's interesting.
Seems just an undercut, it looks like. I think you could
and Dixie's touched the corner in the inside line. Turn 3, and it's whipped the car round very quickly. He's doing his best to stay out of the way. Gets the car back round straight, and he will continue on his way.
Yeah, I think you can get the mediums to the end from here. So undercuts start now, I think. If people will try and go for them, if they can get the tyres to the end. But Mike, I don't think he's going to get past Nelly whilst he's in this train. He needs Jamie to break the gap, or he has to try it in the pits.
Get a good exit here. Nelly drove off the corner very well there.
There we go. Mike, he's not backing out of his energy. He's not going to get close enough. I think Mike's going to have to try and do it on an undercut or overcut. Depending if Nelly hits first.
And I think Jamie must have got at least 2 warnings that lap itself, I think there.
He got 1 that lap.
Oh, interesting.
So most drivers have 1 warning. F. Lewis and Nelly at the moment none, so they're keeping it pretty decent. Is Nelly gonna go for a move on Jamie, or is he just gonna try and carry on getting the DRS off him, keeping Mike behind.
See, Nelly seems to be putting himself into a stronger position. He's on 90% energy, Jamie down at 60. So if he wants to push on and try and make a move, he can, and probably still have some ERS advantage to Jamie. But all the while F. Lewis is coming into this fight. Now, will F. Lewis think of the team game here, the points for Alpha, or is he going for a win?
He's going massively wide here. He's got to stop doing that.
Did they get a warning for that there?
That shouldn't be on, really. No, he didn't get a warning for that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
I
think Mike's going to try and come for one. Oh, no, Nelly's defending, but Mike is gaining now. He's gaining. Not quite this time around.
I used the energy out of the corner. Mike was just didn't got a run. I think he was trying to possibly set someone up in good chicane, but no. He had a big oversteer in the curb as well. We've only done 6 laps, Chris. So I think the next few laps we're going to see some pit stops, some overcuts and undercuts going on. And Skarma picks up the penalty, that's not what he wants. And Chris Stapps is around at turn 1 and
I don't think that'll be the last either.
He could do a 3-point turn there to avoid getting the path of everyone else, and there goes Adam taking the position, and Chris Stapps trying to think of a shot, I think. Jamie is now 33% energy, Nelly is still 80%, so I think Nelly might use a bit to try and get an overtake maybe soon. Not this straight, not for sure. Or maybe this straight, he's going to carry it, having it on. He's not going to go for it. Oh, Mike goes really wide, he must have picked up the warning for that. He did. So he's got to be careful now, Mike. He's on the brink of a 3-second penalty. If he violates the track limits one more time.
So this is the battle. There is some other things going on. Let's go back a little bit. Let's look at Mataman in the back of DXT Senna. Mataman's hard tyre seems to be maybe working now.
I think Mataman might be sizing up and move this lap. Nelly just behind Mike, using a lot of energy, trying to get close. Not close enough.
Look how close F. Lewis is on the back of this pack as well now.
And Mataman didn't get past.
F. Lewis could play a blinder here. If Mike doesn't box, then box.
And Jamie Enright is abusing it, it looks like. And there's been an incident, it's Ranger and Green Fingers. And Mix just slips through them both. And they must have a big collision because Green Fingers has lost... No, they haven't lost anything, it's just a spin.
So does F. Lewis go for the undercut? Oh, Nelly's went really wide. That's going to allow Mike to get up the inside line. There's a small bit of contact there. Is Nelly going to try and defend it? He's not, and Mike gets through in a very unorthodox place. One small mistake when you're racing this close though, and the next driver will come through. The top 4 continue on.
A couple of penalties dished out down the field, and oh, there's been another spin. It's Mick and also Mataman as well. They're all really
struggling at one.
Turn 1.
Yeah, it does bite hard, that corner.
So Mike, I think he'll be trying to eye up a move this lap. only if he gets a good run. I think Mike will attack it as they come out of Chapel and onto the
I wonder if it's on the tyre game now. Oh, and Mike's going to box.
Very late, and Ranger retires in the pits. So Mike go for the undercut. Maybe a big enough undercut where he could possibly gain enough time to get him out of the DRS.
And
maybe.
There's a few in. JNTEX just shows to come in with a leader.
Oh no,
Mikey.
no, it's a glitch. Ranger's car stopped and Mike is stopped.
Oh wow.
Oh, and that is absolutely ruined Mike's race. That he's probably
wow. Why has it done that?
Absolutely. Ranger's car came out of the box and yeah, just stopped in the middle of the pit lane. That is actually.
Yes, David Scarlett is in a very, very strong position. P5 on the medium tyre, and he's on the back of Rob Wills as well.
It's 10 seconds Mike has to gain now, pretty much back on the leaders, I think. Looking at the gaps, it's 39 seconds, so yeah, he's lost over 10 seconds from being held up there. So
just keep his head down now, go score points. Mike is very strong on the medium tyre as well.
It's been instant, and it's Adam, he's in a spin again. So many spins around Silverstone, it's probably... The setups are designed to really attack this track, and yeah, it's quite susceptible to it.
Nelly continues. Jamie and F-Lewis both in reaction to Mike.
Although Mike will be miles back from these guys, but Nelly's going to carry on, I think. Maybe an overcut. It's lap 11. And it's absolutely everyone in the pits now.
Yeah, Mike triggered a big one.
And let's see where Jamie Enright comes out in relation to Mike.
So he's going to be out the pits with Mike, yep.
Yeah.
So Mike lost out in the Demon Mike as well. Oh, well held there, Mike. Right, keep your head down, boy. And go get some. We'll come back to that in a little second. Matoman, look at Pedro now up there in P4.
Yeah, and he's got the net leader right behind him. 2 seconds away, so Matoman trying to go for the rain, must be. Those spins might have cost him valuable time. But he's on the back of Pedro. Pedro goes really wide. Good cops. Is Matoman going to get a move done maybe this lap on Pedro?
Yeah, and I think he will go through.
Yeah. Plain sailor move for Matoman to be caught. And Nelly in the pits. Needing to go on. And will he put that McLaren in the lead, or will he be undercutted?
I think he's going to be undercutted here.
Has he done the overcut? Oh, it's going to be so close to come out the pits, but Jamie's going to take the lead, I think, just about. And Nelly on the outside, and F. Lewis is
and he's so well held there.
And the sausage curve caused that. Nadeem is now over the back of Nelly. That's not what he wanted. But he has 80% energy to push back and...
Now how much does Matoman fight on his hard compound tyre? Because this makes or breaks his race.
If it does rain, Matoman's in that lead.
Yes, he needs to try and just put up a fight, I think. Especially if Jeff's saying 5 or 10 minutes. You probably want to be trying to hold this position as much as you possibly dare. Because once one comes through, I think they're all going to come through pretty quickly. But of course, Britain is not an easy place to defend an overtake, as you will see right now.
Yeah, and Jamie is pretty much easy. Goes through into P3.
Oh, excuse me.
And that's Mick in the pits. He's got a very early stop. Surely, is he going for the early softs or is he going for the hards? I think that is a set of hard tyres, Mick.
Mike is chunking time out the guys ahead.
He's 6 seconds away from Nelly. He's pretty much just about over. He's just about 9 seconds away from the leader. I think Mike saving grace in this race will probably have to be a safety car because I don't think he'll be able to catch back up to these guys. And Nelly's in the DRS of Matterman over the back of F. Lewis again. Is F. Lewis going to be overtaken? Matterman pushing for the move again. And F. Lewis got the move done, but Matterman's going back through. F. Lewis hanging around the outside.
Well defended there.
And he's covering off the outside line. Matterman trying to go around the outside, but he couldn't get it done. And here comes Nelly. He goes really deep through the final corner there. And I guess Nelly into P5. That move. And Matterman really struggling here. He's dropping.
Can he keep himself in the DRS train? No, that's the thing. This is could help him here. Just to push on a bit.
Nadeem is using everything. Nadeem, I think, on a high straight line speed, go through, and he's going to take 6th place. Matterman dropped 3 places over the last few laps. Mike only 5.5 seconds away from Matterman.
Yeah, he is making good ground.
It's never an OTL race without a safety car.
I'd be stunned if we don't see one.
Yeah, it'd be quite something that.
I think Nelly's about to mount an attack on F. Lewis and take his position back off the undercut.
Yeah, it's going to be a move down the inside. F. Lewis forces him more to the inside, makes life a little bit difficult, but he gets moved on either way. Nearly up to P4, he's 2.5 seconds off the lead.
Senna in.
And Jamie is out of energy pretty much. He is drained. Nelly, almost full.
So Nelly has a lot to play here, yeah. Nelly wants this win, he can still get it, he just needs to use the energy. Jamie being out, he can push on a bit. Use 20 or 30% to catch him up, and then you still have a good half a battery to go pushing. And there's a yellow flag, sector 1.
Here.
Don't know what that was for.
I don't think Scarlett expected to be leading the British Grand Prix OTL today.
No, definitely not.
But he's doing his bit for McLaren. Yeah, Nelly doing the other bit and trying to get close. And there's been a... Is that a crash? Has he lost his wing? I think Chris upstairs.
Yeah, I think he's wingless.
Very lucky that he didn't retire, it looks like, from that. As he goes through the first sector.
And he has no nose.
And Skarma in the pits, the race leader.
Be interesting to see where Skarma filts back out here now in his soft compound tyre. I reckon he's going to be somewhere maybe just in front or just behind the Mikey Rage battle.
It's going to benefit him hugely though for this last stint. I think, yeah, he's going to come out, I think, just behind Mirko
And Rage.
maybe.
Mirko and Dixie, sorry, yeah. I got my colours mixed up.
And all these guys on the tyres, except for Senna, who
What's going on here between Rob Wells, Mikey, Senna and Rage? Whoa!
Yes, Senna got the move. Looks like, and here comes Rob Wells and Mikey. Down the inside, is he going to get the move? Are they going to make a bit of contact? But they keep it fairly decent. Going for that, Mick picks up a 3-second penalty. But here comes Rob Wells, he's got the inside line. For Clark's, it's a Red Bull and pretty much a Mercedes W11. And
good racing in between the two. Mr. Rage recovering really well back up into the top 8 after that spin on the first lap.
Senna pushing along down the straight. Is he going to get the
Matterman and F. Lewis still battling away in P4 and P5.
Oh, he's poked his nose up the inside, couldn't get it done. Senna hungry for positions here. Only 10 seconds off Mike. Mike has done the job to catch up Matterman, but he's still about the same gap away from his teammate as he was before Senna picks up the penalty. Not what he wanted.
No.
There's a yellow flag.
Let's look at penalties actually. Fingers down there on 14. Pedro keeping them down, so he'll be on for a safety car. Dixie too. These guys get a safety car late in the race. They have a lot of promise ahead of them if they keep the penalties down.
Yeah, the top 5 pretty much this race. Mikey, Dixie and Skarma all being a great and Pedro all being a great spot.
Yes. Oh, give me 1 second, Jensen. I need the toilet. I'm on this Nadeem and Nelly battle. Oh, and Dixie's picked up his first penalty of the race there just as I was coming back. So that'll not be so good if the safety car does come. And what's happened there? Who's that? Why did I see a car stopped off the track? Oh, and look, Jamie's now picked up a penalty. That could be detrimental to this race.
Nelly, that lead now.
Something happened there between Mirko and Skarma. But Dixie somehow managed to jump Skarma. Mirko gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and he's in the pits. Mr. Rage is in AI now. Has Mr. Rage left the session? Whoa. So Adam has a big advantage in ERS, 40% against Skarma's 10, so he has the ERS to defend this. I don't know where Jensen's going. I think they might have lost him.
Just saw it somehow.
The Dean now charging in on Nelly. Nelly probably, especially if weather's going to come, he probably wants to start using that energy. Jamie's down at 10%, Nelly's at 70. Push up that gap. Do not let him get further ahead than he has to be. Adam and Skarma on a right old tussle here. Mataman gets the fastest lap in his brand new soft compound of tyre. Mike is almost in DRS range of his teammate again. And 5 laps or 6 laps to go to see if we get some rain.
Alright.
Mr. Rage went a bit deep there. Mike now in DRS range of his teammate. He has clawed this back very, very well. Now will there be any team orders? Well, left loose. I don't think, if you're not in the train, it's very hard to defend anyway.
Yeah, Mike's really clawed the gap now. He's got his eyes set upon F. Lewis. Can Nelly?
He needs to push now, yeah. Jamie's using everything out of every corner, whereas Nelly's still being conservative with GRS, 60%.
I think
with
Nelly's
5 laps to go.
I think he feels confident that if there's a safety car, it brings him there. If there's not, he can just push and fall back the gap.
And here he comes, he used a bit there.
He's gonna start using Nelly. You wanna win this race.
Especially now, Jamie has 2% energy, so he's absolutely spent.
That's a majority of the penalties now. Late safety car will launch drivers like Pedro up the grid, but
yeah, if there's a safety car, Pedro could get a top 6 finish from where he is right now.
it's literally like Jamie is using the energy constantly, absolutely everywhere.
Yep.
Nearly 3.1 seconds, and they're fighting the 2 Alfa Romeos, fighting F. Lewis, being passed by Mike.
And is he going to come for a move down into turn 2? What they need to do here is probably overlap each other if the pace is strong. And just try and pull each other up, but at the moment they're actually losing time fighting each other. And F. Lewis is going to come back through.
I mean, they're free to fight. I think they're not going to get 6 seconds in the next how many laps?
If they work like this, they may. Oh, and Pedro picks up a time penalty.
No. And that potential jump is absolutely gone now for Pedro.
But F. Lewis is defending.
Good Mike. Again, go for a move.
They'll lose half a second every time they do this.
In a dogfight here.
Nelly nearly dropped the car there.
These two have shared.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
That's J&Tex. It's had a spin, I think that's Stowe or half spin. Rejoins the track though.
No damage, so we can continue.
Nelly's dropping back from the leader. He's got to start using now really. He's really got to claw that gap back. It's 3/10.
And at this point, Nadeem being a reserve, Mike has drove back to the podium. Which would be massive.
Nadeem, he's got the same amount of energy as Nelly. Nadeem could pull something off here. Possibly. If he overtake using the DRS and just using the energy as well to possibly pull the gap to Jamie, he could possibly pull off a shock win in this. But we'll see what he does. He's going to use the energy down the straight. He's going to go for the move there, it looks like. There you go. Change of guards for P2. And Nadeem's got to get the move on now. If they want any chance of kicking up a big
But can Nadeem's pace drag him and Nelly both?
I think Nadeem's just going to be absolutely spending the energy here. Nadeem fast after the race. I think he's, flying at the moment.
The Alfa Romeo battle continues as well. Mataman gets another time penalty for multiple warnings down there in P12, all over the back of Skarma. Let's see this one.
And there's been
yellow flag, sector 1,
it's
sector
Jamie!
2.
It's Jamie's had a moment!
Oh,
He's
and was there a
lost
reset to track used there?
Maybe. Because he was right in the middle of the track. That might have been a reset to the track.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's even worse. Mike might even finish ahead of Jamie if that is penalised. But Nadeem leading the race versus Nelly here for the win. I don't think Jamie's in it, but I think Jamie's going to try and go for some overtakes anyways. 2 laps for Nelly to try something.
And with 2 laps to go, this race just got very, very, very spicy. Now Jamie needs to pay attention to, you don't want to over push and pick up another penalty here, because then that could be it. Nadeem is going to pick up DRS here, I think, from the back marker. Yes, he does.
Lewis has got that past Mike, so Lewis is pretty much in that podium. But Nelly, is he going to try anything here? There is Jamie. I don't think Jamie won't be able to do anything. There's been a spinner, I think that is green fingers, and he's lost his wing, so he'll have to try and nurse the car back.
Nelly is attacking. Is he going to come for it here? I don't think he's going to be close enough this time around, but he's going to have to try and hang on to the back of this if he wants it, because there's only going to be 1 lap when he crosses this line for the second last time.
He's got to watch out for Jamie as well. Jamie, you know he's going to try anything to get through, even with that penalty. still want to have a go here. It's the final lap. Nelly is on for the maximum points, but they're going to go
Nelly's
wheel
looking
to wheel
punchy
through
now.
turn 4, and there goes Jamie up the inside. This might be what Nadeem needs. Is Jamie to fight this?
I
Nelly's going to use a bit of
think
energy
he's going to
here.
go through. He probably doesn't want to go through now though. You probably want to keep the position until you get to Wellington Straight and then try and make the move in that DRS zone. This
I
is
think he's
not the
forced
place to
use,
do
though,
it.
because of Jamie. He's forced to use because of Jamie here. And Jamie tries to go around the outside, he can't. This is going to be a close finish. Just like last season, Chris. It was quite a incredible final lap, but Jamie goes really wide there. They're under 3 tenths between them as they go into Maggins and Beckett. He touches the back of Nelly through there, and I think Nelly's going to have this one quite easily down the straight. No more energy from Nadine.
And Nelly will get the overtake. Can Jamie Enright get it? Oh, and he comes up the inside.
And he does, yeah. But Nelly,
on the very last lap.
It's his second race back. He went at France, he got P4, and he's going to come back to win at Silverstone. And Dean picks up P2.
And Mike will take that podium position in P3 because, of course,
yeah,
the team is reserving. What an ending, Jensen.
Going off those results, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was a cracking little race there at the end. All 3 of the drivers were absolutely like within a quarter of a second of each other. The top 3.
Yes.
Quite crazy.
Let's see if we can get our guys in for a chat.
I predicted Nadeem to win, but he came out really close.
So where is every day? Don't have. Yes, I can get Nelly and Mike. I don't have Jamie. Ah, come on. Oh, you got it.
Jamie
Yep, overtake is slow.
I got him, okay.
Nadeem gets driver of the day from the game, so we'll probably need to give that to somebody else. And we will have a tough to go for today, but I think one driver stands out. And it's certainly be the driver that won the race. He drove very comfortably, very wise. It was a mature drive. But we will come to that. Is Nelly going to join? Will Mike join? This is the question. We will wait for a little minute to see if they come. Jamie has joined. Let me see. Oh, excuse my coughing. Excuse me, excuse me. So we'll give it a couple of minutes, and if they're not going to join, we will just have a chat with Jamie. I think we'll just start with Jamie. If they join in, we can go. Jamie, I think you fall down to P3 in the standings, but you will bring home the P2, because obviously Nadeem being a reserve, he drops out the standings. So P2 points. When was there? Penalties are obviously a bit hurtful. We know how they can be at Britain, especially. What happened at the end? We weren't on board at the time, just trying to push on a bit, lose the rear of the car and go round.
I was going through Beckett's and I was like completely just pushing to get out of 3 seconds, And fucking I spun so slowly, it was depressing.
Ah, yeah, that's what we thought. Just because obviously you'd seen Nadim, especially when Nadim jumped Nelly, he looked like he was really coming on a push. And obviously that 3 second penalty, you were always sitting right on that limit. 2.9, 3.1, it was kind of up and down from there. And then of course, but still you had your moment, and a lot of people would just say, I've got a penalty, I'm going to just accept it, and I'm here, I'll just race here. But you kept your fight in there, some spirits to try and claw back something, even with the penalty hanging over your head. And that last couple of laps were very exciting because of it.
The last lap was a brilliant battle, the three of us.
Yes, it was great to watch. So I know the spin maybe wasn't in your highest list of best things you've done, but it made for some great entertainment in the closing laps.
Thanks.
You've
I'll try to spin more often, so.
But P2 still solid points. Mike obviously finishes behind you, so you close the gap a bit up, and that's all you can all do. Just keep trying to close the gap.
Yeah.
Very well done, Jensen. Do you have anything for Jamie?
Nah, I mean, yeah, good job on the P2 today. Yeah, of course the spin,
Thanks.
lost you in the end, but I mean, that first win will come sooner or later. It's good pace all the way through the end. So.
Yeah, second that.
I'm more of a P2 man, I think I've got P2 in
Anyways, well done. Oh,
winning.
on you go. On you go, Jamie. Say what you're going to say, mate.
I don't know if I like winning, I think I'm going to stick to the P2s.
Yeah. So, on to where will we go? We'll go to P3 man, and then we'll do our P1 man. It's been a while since we spoke to him in this manner. Mike, after what was as good as a 10-second stop and go penalty, because the game is a dick. Excuse my language. Very very strong recovery. That's the first time I've seen that happen in the pits. I don't know. That was obviously a guy had went in, he'd done what he'd asked, go into the pits and retire, and that car just decided it was sitting ghosted in the pit lane for like, I don't know how long it held you there, but you had like a big deficit once you came out of that pit stop. And it was very much, you could see you were driving really aggressively on that restart into. Britain is a very, very tough track to catch trains. I think people underestimate just how hard it is to pull gaps down, especially when we've seen how close it was in qualifying, so it's not like the pace was massively different. So I think kudos to drag yourself back into the podium position. I think it's really good. P4 on track, but of course Nadim being a reserve drops out, so you get the P3 position. So you've got to be reasonably happy to take home a top 3 after that shenanigans. I know you probably felt the win was there, but yeah, Codemasters, what can we say?
Yeah, it's just kind of, what do you want me to say kind of thing. It's like,
I know it'd be a
yeah.
stinger, it stings, but you got to
Okay.
take confidence in your recovery.
Yeah, I pitted the lap earlier just so I could break the DRS to the guys, and then I ended up 10 seconds behind the guys, and I was like, alright, okay then.
But you
See
kept
you
your head down
next week.
and pushed hard. And one little moment, or if the guys at the front maybe just were fighting a couple of laps earlier, I think you could have maybe pulled yourself into that battle as well. But I think them just kind of constantly overlapping each other in the train, the gap just kind of stayed at that 6 seconds after that, and it was very hard to bring it down.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything, like even before I was battling with Lewis, it was,
I was going to say that
it was
as well.
just constant, like you couldn't do anything. I was quicker through the first second, and then up to the straight, and then they just pulled 4/10 on me, and I was like, right then. And it's just, you can't really do anything about that then.
No, of course. But P3, I think credit where credit's due, to get essentially what was a 10-second stop and go penalty to recover back to the podium. I think it's a really good job. So very well done.
It doesn't feel great right now, but I'm sure it will come round.
Jensen, do you have anything for Mr. Mike?
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. There, I'm sure you wanted more out of that race, but yeah, that shouldn't have happened really. I was honestly just confused as why Rangers just stopped and you stopped. Like,
Yeah, it was.
I felt your
I was
pain
kind of like
there.
hoping it would like speed up and I'd be in my box, but no, that didn't happen. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I've never seen that happen either, so
Let's hope we never see it again, because I certainly would never
Yes.
like to be the receiving end of it, and we certainly don't want to see people's races getting fucked over by something like that.
battered.
Excuse my language
Chris,
again.
do we have time for a Nadim interview? He asked. He said no interviews for reserve.
We can maybe get him in for the P2 spot. We'll jump on to Nelly. Would you want to add him in? We'll get a chit chat
okay.
with him. Nelly, it's been a while since we had a conversation like this, sir.
Wow.
That was a
it's
very
weird to be back here, isn't it?
that was very a very methodical and well thought out victory. I was urging you on at the end of the race, but Jensen said that I think he's just playing the long game. You had a big advantage on ERS, which obviously you don't know unless you're listening into the comms. You don't know how much the advantage was to Jamie. But for the last 6 or 7 laps, Jamie was obviously right on the bubble of that 3-second penalty. He was absolutely spent on energy, and you had like 70%, so we're willing you on to try and close that gap down. Of course, the incident happened and the thieves came close together anyway. But it seemed a high intense race, had quite the intensity for, especially for the first 4 guys, and Mike and F. Lewis in it at the start as well in the first stint. It seemed like that race was always going to feel quite long.
It was a hot race. I'll tell you, that's what I'm going to say. It was a very warm race in my bedroom. I think I got... It's kind of hollow. I got lucky with a lot of things, but I made a lot of mistakes myself. I nearly Grosjeaned it out of the pit, so I lost the position to F. Lewis. And then Jamie did get a penalty, but he pulled 3 seconds. And then the time I did get it back under, I made a mistake straight away. Mitch's ghost got in the way like every single race, which was quite funny. But I don't know what happened to. You said he spun. Was it just of his own volition?
I think, yeah, the turn 7 curb inside to come up to cops.
Oh, okay.
The
Well,
one before
then
you come up
after
to
that,
cops.
it was just. You could tell Jamie was just like, "F it, let's just take whatever we can.
Yep.
Let's have some fun," because he had a 3-second gap behind. So I had to. It would have been so much easier, but I just held him behind, and then Nadim. There was about 5 different opportunities I could have overtaken him, but I thought last straight it's just easiest because then there's no way he can get back. And then yeah, it was just I did sit for 6 laps coming out of the pits thinking, where the hell is Mike? So whatever happened to him, I'm sorry. I mean, I'll laugh about it when I get off party, but for now, you know, that's Codemasters for you. Like, it's we've both been effed over by stuff before.
Oh yes, and it will continue to happen to others too.
Oh, for real, it will. Wait till Imola where we all fall through the map. But like, it's on the whole note, I bloody won a race for the first time in ages. So I'm gonna enjoy this one because I just like the first season, never gave up, and that's the dub. I know Mike's 100 points ahead, but that's a dub. So GG's to everyone.
Yes, very well done, Nelly. As I say, it was a very methodical and well thought out drive. You picked your moments very cleverly and kept your nose out of trouble, so very, very, very well done.
Thank you. Thank you to Jensen as well. Your time trial setup's bloody quick.
There you go, Jensen. Jensen? Oh, Nelly was just saying thank you for your setup because he used your setup.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean to use your setup. I meant to use my race setup, but it still won me the race. So
take it. And
GG's.
Nadim, our star reserve of the day. Are you here, sir? I think you joined. Nadim joined, right?
Yeah, I'm here. Evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How are we? Very well done. That was you were part of a very intense battle. Jensen did call you early in the race. Once he seen that you were racing right at the start, he seen you in P7. He went, "I think Nadim's going to win this race," and you were that close. How do you feel? Good one.
Yeah, I mean, quali didn't go as well as I've kind of bottled a good few laps. Knew I had the pace to kind of make up some places, but yeah, it's so hard overtaking guys when you're in a bit of a DRS terrain, so thought I'd give a bit of a undercut and managed to get a few guys. Yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to Mike with the Galicia, so and I watched the stream back and I saw just tragic luck, so bad luck to Mikey boy. But yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that one quite a bit. It's been a while since the sweat was that real. So yeah, GG's to Nelly and Jamie. It was fun batting towards the end. I knew it was going to be tough to be in the lead on that last lap, but yeah, fair play to Nelly. He picked his moment well, and yeah, congrats to him.
Yeah, I definitely think if you're free on more Monday nights, you should speak to Adam, because I think you would add a very interesting dynamic to the battle up the front of the division here. So that's always something to food for thought.
Yeah.
Jensen, do you have anything from the team? Yeah, it was unfortunate how you got overtaken like that there end, but I mean you were really pushing through quite early on, and yeah, unfortunately you didn't win, but I mean I'm sure you'll be happy with the P2 in the end. Yeah, I mean P2 is not too bad either, and yeah, I think Nelly just did a better job from qualifying in the whole race, so yeah, I think he deserved it. Big picture, and yeah, but it was fun, and yeah, I'm not too disappointed with P2. Obviously, it doesn't feel great when you get overtaken on like the last corner, but I mean I'm a reserve, so like could be worse. Yeah, no, but GG's to you as well, Nadim, because I can always trust you on track not to hit me. So yeah, cheers, man. Same to you. It's always fun battling you. Respect. I'll see you on Thursday. Yeah, let's hope so, man.
So on that note, guys, Jensen, before we go, we have a call to make, and that's driver of the day. And I think in regards to the, if you look at the whole kind of prospects of the race, there was nothing that stood out massively in the midfield. No drivers had really huge gains. My opinion, driver of the day probably goes between Mike for his recovery and Nelly for the win. So I'm going to let
Nadim, but he's a reserve, so
and he got games driver of the day.
I'm kind of in the middle of that. I mean, it was kind of unfair what happened to Mike, but he came back, sort of got close to the leaders still. I mean, it was quite an almost impossible task being 10 seconds behind. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not, I don't know what to.
Just anything. Anything, Jensen?
I don't know.
So I will pick Nelly.
Yes!
Nelly gets her driver of the day.
Thank you, Gigi.
Again, commiserations to Mike. That was a sting, but the wee jobby still has a 100-point advantage, so I am sure he'll come back swinging. He always does. And on that note, OTL will be back next Monday, and Elite will be live on Friday. We will see you then, guys.